Hey guys, John here. I hope you're all doing well. Today it's my absolute pleasure to present to you the brand new Soldano SLO100 rack mount tube amplifier. And to celebrate the release of this wonderful amp, let's go back to the 80s with a demo song. Check it out. The amp sounded wonderful here. So that was my ESP LTD EC1000T CTM in vintage gold satin with the Fishman Fluence Will Adler pickups in it. On the bridge pickup on the passive voicing, I used the overdrive channel for all the tones, but I did add a little bit of delay in post for the lead guitars. For all the main demo songs in this video, the amp will be fed through my RedSeven Amplification Amp Central reactive load and ML Sound Lab IRs, but later in the video I'm also going to do a raw playthrough with the amplifier through my ENGL 4x12 cabinet, mic'd up with an SM57. So yeah, Soldano amps, I love them. Earlier this year for my birthday, I bought myself the SLO30, which is in my rack back there. Love that amplifier so much. It sounds so good. It has the classic Soldano mojo. The high gain tones are gorgeous. The crunch tones are awesome. And the clean channel is quite nice as well. So yeah, love that amplifier a lot, even though it's just the 30-watt version. Then later, I also got the Astro 20, which I have up here. Really cool amplifier as well. Much more affordable, of course, 20 watts, but quite versatile. And I really recommend the Astro for a more affordable option. And it's just great and very versatile. However, the SLO100 has eluded me so far. So now I'm super excited to be able to show you guys the 100R, the new rack version of the SLO100. Now this is basically the newly updated and upgraded version of the old and rare rack mount version of the SLO100 that Mike Soldano built in the 80s. And in the end, they ended up making about 200 of these until around 1990 or so, when the rack mount craze sort of ended. So the original ones are quite rare indeed, but now everyone can basically get one with this new version. As I mentioned, the SLO100R, which I have over here, does have some upgrades from the old version of the SLO100. One of the upgrades is an improved noise floor, which I definitely can confirm. Even with high gain settings, this thing is pretty darn quiet, so that's really nice. They also improved the effects loop, so it works with a wide variety of devices now, and it sounds pristine. There's also the addition of the depth switch over here. Now my SLO30 and the SLO100 Classic both have a depth potentiometer, which is great, but I'm very happy to see the depth switch on this amplifier as well. It has 3 settings. All the way to the right, it is the most tight sounding. In the middle, the sound has the most amount of low end. And to the left, it's kind of like a medium setting, which is my preferred setting for the modern stuff. And for the more classic tones, I prefer it to the right for the tightest response. So that's a wonderful feature. Another cool new feature, which I haven't seen on an SLO so far, is the global master volume control. And one thing that I noticed when I played this amplifier through my cabinet for the first time is that the volume is very manageable. So you can use this amplifier at bedroom volumes thanks to the global master volume control. Another thing that has been improved in comparison to the older SLOs is that you can now switch the channels through the switching on the front panel. You can also use the included foot switch, of course, but it's neat that you can also do it from the front. This obviously is a 100 watt amplifier with 4 6L6 tubes in the power section. It is compact for sure, but don't be fooled. This thing is quite heavy because it has some big iron in it. That's for sure. Hand built in the USA, super sturdy, super well made. So that's great. Just as with all the other SLOs, this amp has 2 channels. We have the normal channel as well as the overdrive channel. For the normal channel, you can choose between the clean and the crunch mode with the switch over here. And we also have a bright switch. I have the bright switch on always, basically. It works for my tones because I use humbuckers most of the time. If you're a single coil player, you might like the bright switch off. And of course, the overdrive channel can take care of crunch tones as well as soaring high gain tones. Both channels have a shared 3-band EQ over here. Both channels also have an individual gain control as well as an individual volume control. And we also have that global master volume control, as I mentioned. The depth switch is over here and a presence control over here. One thing that was interesting to me is the power switch. To the middle, the amplifier is off. Set it to the bottom position for standby and then turn it all the way to the top to turn the amplifier on, which was interesting. On the back of the amplifier, of course, we have various speaker outs, an effects loop, and a line out as well that you can use to slave the amplifier into something else, and that also has a dedicated volume control. Alright, so now we're going to explore the tones that this amplifier has to offer, and we're going to start with a nice clean tone using my Schecter PT SLS Elite with the Fishman Fluence modern pickups in it on the neck pickup, which is the Alnico pickup. That's kind of like a go-to pickup for pristine clean tones. I'm also going to use the Walrus Audio Fundamentals reverb in the loop so we can test that as well. So the normal channel on the clean mode with the bright switch on and the reverb in the loop. Let's take a listen. Alright, that sounded quite nice indeed. Now I want to turn up the gain. And we're going to try some classic crunch tones with the normal channel on the crunch mode, again with the bright switch on. And I'm going to use my Schecter Solo II Custom guitar. No pedals, straight into the amplifier. Let's take a listen. Awesome, that sounded really nice. Such a rich crunch tone with a lot of string definition, a lot of clarity, but all the tube warmth that you can expect from a Soldano amplifier. Love it. Of course, I also want to get heavier, so now we're going to do some modern rock tones on the overdrive channel with my ESP LTD Phoenix 1000 Deluxe with the Seymour & Duncan custom pickup in the bridge. And let's see if this amplifier can handle some high-gain modern rock. Take a listen. That sounded really nice. So full, thick, and rich, again with plenty of string clarity, but not in a harsh way at all. Love it. Now let's get even heavier and try some metal. And we're going to use my ESP LTD NW-44 in drop C for this with the bare knuckle aftermath pickup. Again, no pedals up front, just on the overdrive channel. And let's see how well this amplifier handles some heavy metal. Check it out. All right, that sounded great once again. Now I want to try some lower stuff. I want to try a 7-string baritone tuned to drop A flat. For that, I'm going to use my ESP LTD SC-607B1H, the purple one, the Stephen Carpenter one, with the Fishman Fluence Steph pickups on the bridge pickup on the active voicing. And that pickup should work really well with an amplifier like this because it's a slightly more fat sounding amplifier, and that pickup will tighten it up quite nicely, I think. So let's see how that sounds. Take a listen. Yeah, that worked just fine. Really good sounding. Now I want to try one more guitar, an 8-string, of course, my Ibanez FTM33 Meshuggah Stoneman 8-string, tuned to F standard with a Lundgren M8 pickup. This time I am going to use a boost, my favorite boost, the Lichtlerm Audio The King in Yellow, which is a nice sort of tube screamer-esque pedal to tighten it up and to add some clarity to the tone. And yeah, let's see how well this amplifier handles some extreme 8-string tones. Check it out. That worked really, really well. That sounded so good. So for all the tones that I tried so far, this amplifier shined. I think it sounds really good and it has that Soldano mojo. What I want to do now is plug in my Schecter Solo II Custom again and then run the amplifier straight into my ENGL 4x12 XXL cabinet with the V30s mic'd up with an SM57. And I'm just going to play some simple riffs, chords, and some licks here and there, and then tweak the controls so you guys can hear how all the controls affect the tone and how they react. Okay, let's take a listen. Check it out. right, that was wonderful. So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the sounds that I'm getting out of the Soldano SLO-100 rack mount tube amplifier. It's a Soldano, I mean, what's not to love? Plus, it's purple, it's 100 watts, it has all the power, the clean tones are nice, the crunch tones are awesome, and the lead tones are just mwah, to die for, basically. So now everybody can finally own that rack mount version of the legendary SLO-100, and the additional features like the depth switch, the global master volume control, the improved effects loop, and all that stuff is just wonderful. And I really think they made a great amplifier with the SLO-100R, and I recommend checking it out for sure. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this amplifier. If you want to buy a Soldano amp for yourself, please use my affiliate links for Thomann and Sweetwater below, as that helps out the channel at no additional cost for you. Also, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, as that really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, a massive thank you to the folks at Soldano and BAD for hooking me up. I really appreciate it. I'm also looking to compare this amplifier to my SLO30 and the Astro in the future, so stay tuned for that. Of course, you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers!